Hey kids, I haven't done this for a long time, so I thought while we are all stuck in our houses and homes because of this quarantine and the coronavirus, I would teach you how to do something today that you can do in your homes. First of all, let's go this way. I'm going to turn you around so that we can. Oh, I thought I could turn you around. I always have a problem with this. Wanted to show you my tree. I'll just turn around this way. St. Patrick's Day is over with, but there's my green tree. Anyway, got the green lights on it and some fun things, these sparkly balls and a bunch of shamrocks. But it is getting ready to come down because Easter is coming. Actually, not for a while. My spring tree will come up. Okay, so today wanted to talk to you a little bit about, well, I really didn't want to talk a lot. I'm just going to show you how to do this. Hopefully you're all staying busy. We are all stuck in our homes now and not able to go to church, not able to go to school, not able to go to work. Some of your moms and dads, I think all of our moms and dads, your moms and dads are able to work still though, for the most part. And this is a scary time for a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that can't go to work because their places have been shut down, and there's a lot of people and places that rely on being able to work. I'm trying to fix my screen. I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, so and it's kind of weird to not be in school and to not really get to go very many places. Restaurants are closed and other places that are non-essential places. So firemen are still working, policemen are still working, the banks are still open, the post offices are still open. So there's a lot of places that need to stay open and are staying open. But it's kind of interesting because we've never had to deal with this. General Conference is going to be very different this year. Missionaries are, some of them are being sent to other countries that are not affected as bad or coming home early. So it's kind of interesting. The key in all of this is to have a good attitude and to look to the prophet and know that we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. But do what you have to do to stay healthy. Wash your hands. Make sure you wash your hands. Some of you probably aren't in the habit of doing that. It's a good time to make that a habit, and Grandma and Grandpa are working on that too, to be better at that. And we're staying inside too. I'm working on a lot of projects. Grandpa can still work, so he's working from home and he's able to go out and be in other people's homes. He is starting to wear gloves now, and so he doesn't touch things that he doesn't need to, or that he shouldn't be touching without gloves. So we're being careful, but I'm able to stay home and do my housework and to work on projects. I'm doing a lot of reading, a lot of sewing, a lot of things that I can just do here in the home. So I'm doing a lot of studying, studying of the Book of Mormon and getting ready for General Conference and reading my scriptures every day like I do anyway. Okay, so, but sometimes we get bored, and especially if you're kids, you get bored. And there's only so many things that you can think of in your head to do to keep you busy. Now, your moms and dads are trying really hard to come up with things that you can do. When Connie was talking this morning about teaching her kids some things because she didn't want them to play video games all day. And, you know, and video games are okay. They're fun, but they're not great to play every day, all day. We need to do other things, and we need to be active doing other things. I still go out and go for a walk almost every day. It's okay to be outside. You're not going to get sick being outside. What you can't do when you go outside is you can't go to a friend's house. You can't go to the park because you'll be touching things that you probably shouldn't be touching. You don't know how dirty they are. It's okay to ride your bike outside. It's okay to go for a walk or a run outside. That's okay. That's good for you, actually. It's really good for you to be outside and to have some fresh air. Some of you are still a little cold outside. Even though it's springtime, it's not quite warm yet. So just prepare for that. Make sure you're warm enough. But there's always things that you can find to do. You have to be creative. You have to use your imagination. Like I was saying, Connie had her kids go outside and color with colored chalk. And she made a really cool design with some tape, and then they had to color and make a real fun design on the sidewalk. So, you know, there's a lot of things you can do. You just have to think, practice drawing, write a story, do a puzzle, do some baking, learn how to do something new, read a book, and then tell your family about it that night. Or there's lots of things. You can think of things to do. You just have to use your brain cells a little bit. Okay, so today, Grandma, I want to show you how to do something that you can do at home, stuck in your house with nothing to do, and it will be kind of fun. And this kind of reminds me of when I taught you how to make the Rice Krispie treat. Well, today we're going to make something else that's just as fast and just as good, and only takes a minute to cook in the microwave. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't have one very often. I haven't had one for a long time because Grandma's trying to lose weight, which I have. I've lost 4 pounds, so I really don't want to sabotage my weight loss by eating too much of this. But I'll have one every once in a while. And actually, I'll make one for Grandpa sometimes too. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we are going to make what's called a chocolate chip cookie in a mug. And a mug, I've got to figure out how to turn this around. I can't do it. So I'm going to just talk to you and show you what we've got. Okay, first thing you need is a mug. And Grandma has had these mugs for a long time. I keep them in my cupboard over by the kitchen window. You can use any kind of a mug, but I like to use this one because it's a little bit bigger. And if you see my hands, you can tell that it's just a little bit bigger. But I have different mugs, and you could probably do it in a different mug. Let me show you a different mug that you probably could use. If your mom and dad, actually you Shirley kids, you probably have some of these. You could do it in this. I've got smaller mugs. It'd work in the smaller mugs, but I just like to use a bigger mug because, frankly, what I like to do most of the time, if I have after I make my chocolate chip cookie in a mug, I'll throw a scoop of ice cream on there, and oh my goodness, that makes it even better. But I'm not going to do that today because, like I said, I'm trying to eat better, which just sounds kind of funny because this is not eating better at all. But it's a nice treat to have, which sometimes we just need a treat. Okay, so here's my mug. You need a mug. You don't want to use a glass. You don't want to use something you would drink out of, like this. You definitely don't want to use plastic. So all of you should have a mug. And if your mug is too big, I've got other mugs up here. They're pretty big. You can do it in this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what size your mug is as long as it's big enough. But you want something like a mug. So I always use this soup mug, which is funny because I've had it forever. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to turn you around here and let you look at my counter. I got to make sure you can see what I got here. Butter. That's the first thing you're going to put in. You need an egg. You need some vanilla. You need some flour, some white sugar, some brown sugar, and chocolate chips. Now, if you don't like chocolate chips in your cookie, you don't have to put the chocolate chips in. You can leave those out. If you like white chocolate chips, you can put those in instead. If you like, if you don't like chips at all, then just leave them out and it'll just be a really yummy cookie too. Okay, so what you do, here's your mug. You're going to take your butter and you're going to put in what is actually 1 tablespoon, but it's usually just a good slice of butter, like that. See that? You're going to stick it in there, and you're going to take this, and guess where you're taking it? Yep. You're going to take it up here to the microwave. And all we have to do with this, we're not cooking it, because we're going to cook everything once we get it all in there, but we want to melt it. Now, every microwave is different, but most microwaves will melt the butter. If it's soft butter, you want to make sure it's soft butter. Hard butter from the fridge is just really hard to melt, and I always have soft butter out because I just don't like hard butter. So this is soft butter, and I'm going to put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And that should be just enough to melt it, or at least make it really, really soft. And that's what we're looking for. Let me see. Here we go. All right. Let's close the microwave. I'm doing this while I'm holding you because I don't know how to flip my camera around. Okay. Now look, this isn't totally melted, but it's pretty soft and soft enough. So, yep, that's pretty soft. Good with that. So, oh, I forgot my fork. I got to get a fork. You got to have a fork so you can stir it all up and then eat the cookie with it. So, here you go. Kind of soft, melted butter. Now what you're going to do is you are going to take your sugars. Let me move my egg. And let's hope my brown sugar is soft. Sometimes I don't use it very often, and sometimes it gets hard, like it is today. But that's okay. I'll tell you what you can do with this too sometimes. If it gets too hard, you pop it in the microwave. You don't want it to be too long, but long enough for me to, I'm going to put it in for 40 seconds. Okay, let me talk to you while this is softening up, and it won't soften the whole thing, but it might soften up enough of it that it will, I'll be able to dig some out. You don't want to put that in for too long because then it starts melting and turning into molasses, which is not good. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you about though, let's pretend that you wanted to make a cookie, but you wanted to have a peanut butter one instead. You would do the very same thing with everything that I'm going to show you, except you'd leave out the chocolate chips if you don't want them, and you would put a tablespoon of peanut butter in with your butter, stir it around, and then add all the rest of the stuff. So you could do that too if you want. All right, here's my brown sugar. Let's see if I can. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, that helped. It's not super soft, but it's soft enough to get a tablespoon out. Okay, 1 tablespoon goes in there. Here's your tablespoon. See? Your moms will know where they're at. And if you don't have a tablespoon, you should all have a tablespoon. If you don't have a tablespoon, you can just use like a big serving spoon that you would use, you know, like that. That's about a tablespoon. Okay, so a tablespoon of brown sugar. And a tablespoon of white sugar. Here we go. See that? Okay, that comes over and you got to be very careful. Goes in there. Oh boy, now you can see why Grandma doesn't eat a whole lot of these. Yeah, not good to eat a lot of them. But it's great when you want a snack and you are not eating too many of them. All right, now after we've done that, we take this, we stir it up. It's going to be kind of clumpy and lumpy and no big deal. We take our vanilla. Here's your vanilla. And you're going to put just, I'm trying to do this with 2 hands and holding the camera. Okay, you're going to put just a little bit in there. You're going to just, boop, that's all. Don't pour it fast or you're in trouble because it'll be a vanilla cookie with way too much vanilla. This is strong stuff. So you don't want to put too much of that in. Just tiny, just enough, just a little bit. Now, this is going to be hard for me to do. Okay, that's just sitting in there. Now I'm going to take my egg. You don't want all of the egg because you would normally put 1 egg in a whole batch of cookies. That you just make, that makes a whole bunch of cookies. Well, we don't need a whole egg. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the egg and we're going to just use the yolk. There are ways to do this. I wish I could show you how to do this without, I'm going to try and do it with 1 hand. So you crack the egg. These are eggs from my chickens. Love my chickens. I've got stuff in my sink, but I'm going to do this anyway. Oh my goodness. We're going to open it up and we're going to hope that we don't lose the yolk. This is so hard to do with 1 hand. One way you can do this if you don't break the yolk is you just take it out. Let all the white stuff fall out of your hand. There we go. And there's the yolk. There's a piece of shell I want to get rid of. And that's what you put in your egg. Okay, let's go back. Or not in your egg. In your cup. Let me wash my hands real fast because they are kind of gross now. Okay, so let me show you. We've got the egg yolk. Now it's going to start looking kind of interesting because that egg yolk, especially my egg yolks are really, really yellow because they're fresh eggs from chickens. When you get them at the store, when you get eggs from the store, the yolks aren't as yellow. And that's just the way it is. Don't ask me that, why. It's just the way it is. I got a big chunk of brown sugar in there that I need to... Okay, so there you go. Yours won't be that yellow because, like I said, your yolks won't be as yellow. Okay, then you take your flour and you're going to put 3 tablespoons. So all you need is this 1 tablespoon, and it does everything for you. You're going to put 3 tablespoons in. 1, shake it out so it's nice and flat. 2, shake it out so it's nice and flat. You don't want to have too much or it'll be too dry, and no one wants a dry cookie. Okay, so there's that. And then you stir that up. Stir it up. Put it all together till it's all incorporated, which means all the flour is not white, but it's mixed in with the dough. Yum, yum. See how this is going to be perfect? Not too much, but just enough. Clean off your fork. All mixed in. What is that? I don't want that in there. That's got to get out of here. That won't taste very good. Okay. Mixed up down at the bottom. Mixed up. Okay, that looks like it's pretty mixed up. And I clean off the fork. Stick it back in there. Doesn't matter if there's stuff on the sides, it's okay. Then you take your chocolate chips, and what I do, I just grab a handful and stick them in. Now, some people's handfuls are a lot bigger than others. Like if you want a whole lot of chocolate chips. Some people have a little bit of cookie with their chocolate chips because they love chocolate chips so much. But they go a long way, so you don't need too many. Okay, so then you're going to take your fork and you're going to stir that around in your dough. And then after you do that, guess what you're going to do? Don't tell anybody I did that. Some people don't think that's very smart to do. I'm still alive. I'm 60, almost 62 years old. I've been doing that all my life. I'm not going to die. In the microwave. Remember I told you, 1 minute. Oh boy. Now, I do need to tell you, because you are putting that in the microwave for a minute, your mug is going to be hot when you take it out. So you need to be smart, and you need to either ask for help if you're kind of little, or you need to get a hot pad and or you can just let it sit in the microwave for a minute after it turns off. That's okay too. But you know me, I like to use these little hot pads. It's what I used when we were doing Rice Krispie treats. It's got 22 seconds left. That's gonna be so yummy. Now what I do is after I take it out of the microwave, I put ice cream on it immediately. I don't let it cool down very much because, oh my goodness, you put ice cream on it when it's hot and warm, it starts melting and makes everything 10 times better. But I'm not going to put ice cream on it today. I don't think I am. I don't even think I've got ice cream in there. Oh, Grandpa has his ice cream in there. He's got some cherry chocolate ice cream, and not my favorite. I usually just like vanilla on it. So, okay, so it's done. Now, and the handle, I can take it out because the handle isn't very hot. But every mug is different too, so you got to be careful. If I touched the bottom of the mug, yeah, it would probably burn me because I've done this before where I've thought I wanted to eat it right away and I've kind of held it in my hand and yeah, it's kind of hot. So, okay. So, this is what it looks like. It just kind of puffs up a little bit. It'll almost look like it's not quite done. Oh, actually, what am I doing? I don't use a fork to eat this. I use a big spoon. I use one of my spoons like this. Okay, so anyway, it'll kind of look like it's not quite done. And if you want to throw a scoop of ice cream on there, oh boy, yum yum. But it is done. It's done, and it's just like, oh my goodness, you guys, it is just like eating a warm chocolate chip cookie. It's actually a chocolate chip cookie that is like the kind I make. I never make little cookies. Little cookies are stupid. I like big cookies. And they just look better. I just love them. I just like, when I make cookies, I make big cookies. So this is like eating one of Grandma's big cookies. It actually would be probably equal to eating 2 regular chocolate chip cookies. And that's why we don't want to eat them too much. Okay, so anyway, there you have it. Here is the recipe. Let me see if I can do this so you can read it. That might be backwards. I think that's backwards. That's not going to work. I'll take a picture of it and send it to your moms and dads. Anyway, but if you can just remember, you just need a tablespoon. You just need a tablespoon, this little tablespoon. And then you need a little bit of butter, white sugar, brown sugar, vanilla, 1 egg yolk, 3 tablespoons of flour, and a handful of chocolate chips. And like I said, you can make a peanut butter one and just throw in some peanut butter in with the butter first, and then leave the chocolate chips out if you want. You can leave the chocolate chips out even if you don't make a peanut butter one. Lots of fun. Super easy. You could do this yourself. I would be careful not to do this every day, or you'll end up having to see the dentist. And you'll end up having to try and lose weight like Grandma is. Anyway, but it is something that you can do. It's something that you can do after dinner at night when you're talking together as a family. Everybody can make their own. And then you don't have to worry about your mom, or your mom doesn't have to worry about making a whole batch of cookies and slaving in the kitchen, especially if she's been working and doing other things all day. So there you have it. That's how you do it. I will come up with another video sometime soon. I don't want to wait as long as I did this time, but this one is something that'll be fun for you to do, and it just gives you an idea of what you can do while you're stuck at home. Make sure you use your imagination and your mind and look around your house and find things that you can do. There's always things that you can do that are a little more productive than just watching TV all day or playing video games all day. And I'm sorry, you guys, your lives have been a little bit, been adjusted for you because of the virus. But you know what? Sometimes these things happen. And our job is to make the best of every situation. And sometimes, that means that we have to go through some hard things and some boring things, and but we learn from all this, and there's always something to learn. So, okay, I will see you next time. I'll FaceTime maybe some of you sometime, and we'll see how this chocolate chip cookie thing turned out. Okay, love you guys. See ya.